What is going on, Washington fans, and welcome to the off season. This will be an off season for the books. I cannot wait. It is already off to an exciting start, and that is why we are going live tonight to discuss this. I am finally back home from the Senior Bowl. Hopefully, y'all enjoyed all the coverage. If you haven't watched the video already, I dropped a video talking about some insight on some draft players and people that I was keeping an eye on at the Senior Bowl. So be sure to check out that video if you haven't already. Hit that subscribe button, hit the like button. But we wake up today, guys. I'm telling you, I was exhausted. I got home last night. I was like, I'm going to sleep in for a little bit. And sure enough, we wake up to some exciting news off the jump. Now, this wasn't necessarily new, but it was more so official. Like, the Browns knew that this was happening. We've heard for a while now that Myles Garrett was completely unhappy with the Browns, as he should be. I mean, that Deshaun Watson contract is literally the worst contract in all of sports. What's going on, everybody? Yes, trade for Myles Garrett. In addition to learning about 6 draft prospects above, I'm curious if Washington offers Payne for Garrett. What draft capital will also need to be part of the trade with Cleveland? What's going on? What's good, Josh? What's going on, Radar? What's going on, Fimp? What's up, Kuzo? Appreciate y'all coming in here. My boy Kenny, trade John Allen and pick 29 for Garrett. Steertide Jones, trade for Myles Garrett, sign Khalil Mack. Holy smokes, that'd be one hell of a room. That'd be awesome. What's going on, Radar? Appreciate y'all coming in here. Queen Sheen, I agree. Smash that like button from me. Appreciate it. Uncensored H, I'm sure AP gonna make a call with that grin. Got the sunglasses on. What's going on, my guy Sharp? Check out Sharpshooters Podcast. Subscribe and hit the like button as well. But guys, this doesn't happen often. A star player in the league like Myles Garrett officially requests a trade. This is NFL Defensive Player of the Year in 2023, 4-time All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 6-time Pro Bowler, unanimous All-American from Texas A&M. This is just a stud of a player on defense. One of the most consistent players I have seen in a long time. This is his sacks stats. 2024, he had 14. 2023, he had 14. 2022, he had 16. 2021, he had 16. He's had double-digit sacks his entire career except for his rookie season where he had 7. He had 13, 10, 12, 16, 16, 14, 14 after that. And that's not even considering the 116 tackles for loss he had. All of the forced fumbles, he's had 20, 17 pass deflections. I mean, just unreal numbers from Myles Garrett. But he requested a trade. And pretty much, I'm just going to read the last little bit of what he said. He said, while I've loved calling this city my home, my desire is to win and compete on the biggest stages. Won't allow me to be complacent. The goal was never to go from Cleveland to Canton. It has always been to compete and win a Super Bowl. With that in mind, and all bold, I have requested to be traded from the Cleveland Browns. So I appreciate y'all coming in on the stream. I'm going to break this down to a T. I'm going to take a look at what the trade package could look like. I'm going to be looking at salary cap, some numbers. I've been keeping up with what people have been saying today, all on Twitter and everything, just possible teams, what it could look like. Does it even make sense for Washington? And the answer is yes. It makes a lot of sense for Washington, but we're going to dive deep into this. So picks, money, all of that. I've been putting in some work today trying to get a good idea of everything. Radar said, oh, by the way, I definitely think you should go to the Combine. I'm pretty sure I am going to the Combine. I will let y'all know within like the next 2 weeks. With that being said, bring me 95. Nude's going to have to come off that 95 if that's the case. Timothy said, we better, no way we waste Jaden's rookie contract. So another good point. We'll come back to that. Trade for Myles Garrett, make it happen. Adam Peters, I say get Garrett, Pitts, and DK. That would be one heck of an offseason. Myles would solve a lot of things on this D-line. So I'm going to share my screen. Like I said, we got a lot to go through. So let's go ahead and get to it. Let me see the best view for this one. Bam. Let's go through here. So here's how every team stacks up so far. For those wondering, Myles Garrett carries a $19.7 million cap hit in 2025. And everything that I have kind of, researched, it sounds like, first off, this has been a lot of people have been talking about this. Jeremy Fowler said it like an hour or two ago. This is not a move by Myles Garrett to get a new contract with the Browns. He is genuinely upset. He genuinely wants to go to the Super Bowl. He wants to go to a contending team. Of course, he wants to get paid by this new team. I think that he could, play in 2025 on that 19.7 mil cap hit. He has no guarantees left. That's like the one concern for him. Obviously, if something happens, he has no guarantee left. 19.7 mil cap hit in 2025. And then after that season, you probably likely give him a contract. Now, I've seen contracts range from 4-year 137 mil to 4-year 160 mil, which is a pretty wide number. I've seen a lot of people talk about it. Spot Track said the 4-year 137 mil, and someone else with like PFF said 4-year 160 mil, which I think that's crazy. I'm fine paying him 30 to 32 or even up to like 33, 34 a year. Now, he is older, of course. I'm not worried about that, though. This guy is 29, going to be 30 next year. He's still in his prime. Like I said, I just mentioned all the sacks he's got in the last 4 years. Last season, I mean, we can pull up the numbers and let it speak for himself before we get back to Twitter. Solo tackles, he had 23. Sacks, he had 14, which is third in the league. Assists, whatever, don't care about that. Forced fumbles, he had 3, which is third. Last year, he had 35 stops, which is 10th. Like I said, 14 sacks. 56 hurries, which was second. Total pressures, 83. That was first in the league. 83 total pressures by one player. 56 hurries, 14 sacks. Myles Garrett is not slowing down. I don't care if he was 32 right now. This is a guy who's going to be playing at a high level for a long time. That is why I'm comfortable if he wants a 4-year deal, if that's how he wants to go out, a 4-year deal right now before, the salary cap's going to keep going up. It does every single season. I don't see it stopping. The market's going to reset. I don't think you would want to get it done right now if you're Washington. And I'm going to pull up the salary cap and everything because a lot of people are confused about how much money Washington really has to spend this offseason. And we need to just go ahead and set that record straight of what the number is. But if you're Washington, you go back to this. For those wondering, Myles Garrett carries a 19.7 mil cap hit 2025. I think he would play on that 19.7 mil because he does want to win. That is his main concern. He wants to go to a team that can compete. Now, let's look at the teams that have the most salary cap of every NFC team. Considering they don't want to send Myles Garrett to, obviously, someone in the AFC to where they have to face him or compete against whatever team. Washington, 78.1 mil. People are like, oh, what happened to the 100? That was the number that was given to us months ago. Things change. And it's honestly not even like 78 if you consider all the money they have to pay with the draft picks. It's probably more so in that 68 range. Like I'd probably put 10 mil towards like the draft players, depending who we get, unless we, trade some draft picks away. But right now, Washington has 78 mil in salary cap. But if you want to be realistic, it's going to be about 68, somewhere around that range, probably, maybe even lower, 65, depending on how much you have to pay your draft picks. So just consider that. But then you have teams like the Cardinals, and I've seen that as like one of the favorites to land him. If I'm Myles Garrett, why do I want to go to Arizona? I know they competed for most of the season last year, but still, they're in a tough division. They didn't even make it to the playoffs. They kind of just choked at the end. How good is Kyler Murray? How far can that team go? Can they make it to the playoffs? Can they make a playoff run? Do they have a chance at a Super Bowl? I don't think so. Same with the Bears. We broke them last year. And then they went on like this long losing streak. Of course, now they have Ben Johnson. Maybe that's the end all. Like their defense was pretty good. But are they a team that's going to compete for a Super Bowl next year? I don't think so. Minnesota. It sounds like Darnold's gone. Like I would pretty much guarantee Darnold's gone unless he wants to stay and takes a very, very cheap contract. And they give J.J. McCarthy one more year to get healthy, learn Kevin O'Connell's system, learn under Sam Darnold, then maybe. But if not, and he is gone, you are rolling J.J. McCarthy out. They have some things they have to change too. It was an impressive season. It was an impressive season. Like I'm not going to lie. I was impressed. I thought they were not going to make the playoffs, especially being in the NFC North. I didn't think so. I was like, once I saw JJ go down, I was like, how far can Sam Darnold take him? And he took him far. But they have a lot of stuff that they have to figure out. And they do have they have a good defense. I love their defense. To be honest with you. Lil Reese said, please don't let the Eagles get Myles Garrett. I would jump off a cliff. Mandalorian, AP will not compromise our pick capital. He's going to build through the draft and free agency. He will make trades that make sense. Everybody just chill. AP knows what he's doing. Radar, my guy said, man, imagine Miles, Newton, Payne, Josiah Stewart, and Darius Alexander. Holy shit. I would be excited about that. Fempt O said, would we offer Payne Allen with some picks for Garrett, and would the Browns even want either of them? So I'm definitely going to talk about that. I have that in the chamber ready. Facts, big facts. The Browns are going to fleece whoever they trade MG2. That's even if they decide to trade him. So Minnesota already has a couple edge rushers. They do. Definitely do, but I feel like they would still take Myles Garrett. And because they have the money. Now, you brought up a good point. The Browns said they don't want to trade him. And there's two sides to this of like why they should. One, because he's a franchise player. Like, there's nothing, like, you have to think highly of Myles Garrett if you're the Browns. If he genuinely wants out, if he genuinely wants to go win a Super Bowl, he does not want to go through this rebuild. He doesn't care if Kirk Cousins is the quarterback next year, if Shedeur Sanders is the quarterback next year. He does not want to be a part of this. And you dug yourself in this hole because of what you did with Deshaun Watson. Now, of course, at the time, Deshaun Watson looked like he could be the answer. If you remember Deshaun Watson with the Texans, he was amazing. An amazing quarterback. One of the best quarterbacks in the league. Matter of fact, he led the league in passing his last year and had nobody. Like, he was unstoppable. And now he just sucks. But you dug yourself in that hole with that contract. So now you have to pay for those consequences. That's the worst contract in sports history. Sports history. And now you kind of have to deal with the consequences. You are rebuilding. You're in the AFC North. You have the Steelers, the Bengals, and the Ravens. You have to start over at this point. You have to start over. You have to find your franchise quarterback. And you pretty much have to wait for Lamar to start sucking and Joe Burrow to start sucking. You're not going to be able to compete in the next few years. Let's be honest. Myles Garrett knows that. The Browns need to be honest with themselves too and say, guys, we're not going to win a Super Bowl with this team we have right now. We need to start over. Like I said, there's a lot of things that I saved. In the instant reaction, PFF said potential trading partners, the Falcons, the Lions, and us, obviously. 33rd team came out with a compensation prediction of what they think could happen. They said a 2025 first and a 2026 first. A lot of people, and I saw some people saying, oh, Josh, we'll trade a second this year and a third next year. That'll get it done. That's definitely not going to get it done because, like I said, they don't want to trade him for financial reasons, and then also because he is their best player on the team. They don't want to get rid of him. They said it multiple times. They said it at the Senior Bowl. We are not trading Myles Garrett. We are not entertaining offers for Myles Garrett. That is off the table. And they buckled down today and said the same thing, according to Adam Schefter. We are not trading him. But if he wants out, at some point, if you want to seem like a respectable, franchise and organization, you're going to have to do right by your player. Jason at Over the Cap said, just to run a quick scenario, but prior to adjustments, the Browns would need to restructure Watson. Obviously, that contract's terrible. And Ward to the fullest, to the fullest, and cut Conklin to trade Garrett. Doing all of that would leave them with likely between $2 million and $7 million in cap space, depending on where the cap winds up, because they do take a pretty hefty dead cap hit in trading Myles Garrett. It's not like they just trade him and there's no, repercussions to it. They take a hefty dead cap hit. Matter of fact, here we go. Spot Track said it. Trading Myles Garrett. New team acquires $19.8 million for 2025, $25 million for 2026. And like I mentioned, there is no guaranteed. So if you can get him to play on that $19.8 million in 2025, we are golden. Maybe you change it up a little bit and throw in some guaranteed in there. Say, hey, if you give us another year in 2026, we will give you that new contract. We'll give you that 4-year deal, whether it's 4-year, 137, 140 to up to 155, whatever. We will get you a new deal, and that's kind of pretty much what he said here. Where'd it go? Here we go. Yeah, 4-year, 137 mil is what they projected it to be. But this is the big number here. If the Browns trade Myles Garrett, they take on a $36 million dead cap hit. Holy smokes. That is a lot of money for a team that already doesn't have much money because they invested it in the weirdo quarterback. So this isn't like some, hey, we can just trade him for whatever we can get and then just take the dead cap hit. The trade has to make sense. The trade has to be worth $36 million in a dead cap hit. That's a lot of money. I don't think people really realize how much the Browns would have to deal with of getting rid of Myles Garrett. Not only do you lose the talent, but you're taking on a massive, massive, massive dead cap hit. So this is, like I said, Brad Spielberg, used to be at PFF, said people are talking about compensation and then like an extension. He said probably a multiple first situation, which a lot of people think. And I think that's what it is too. It starts with 2 firsts. This year's first and next year's first. And I'll get more into that first situation. Even though the new team will be in the neighborhood of a 4-year, $160 to $170 million extension, which is crazy. But he's worth it because he's that good. The Browns are $30 million over the cap right now. Trading Myles Garrett sends them to $46 million over the cap. That's like New Orleans Saints numbers. If they have to do this and punt off an entire offseason in spending, the Deshaun Watson trade somehow is even worse. So not only if the like they said, first off, they have to make some moves. Deshaun Watson has to restructure. Denzel Ward, probably your next, I don't want to say probably, your next best defender on the team, a top corner in the league, has to restructure his deal because your team sucks and Myles Garrett wants out. So now Ward is getting affected in this whole thing. And then you have to cut Conklin, one of your better offensive linemen over the last few years. You have to cut him to make enough money to get rid of Myles Garrett, not to obtain a player, but to get rid of your best player. You have to make money. You have to make room for money. Well, hold on. So Cooper Kupp, this is just some breaking news. Cooper Kupp just put out a long tweet, said, I was informed that the team will be seeking a trade immediately and will be working with me and my family to find the right place to continue competing for championships. I don't agree with the decision and always believed it was going to begin and end in LA. Still, if there's one thing I have learned over the years, there's so many things that are out of your control, but it's how you respond to these things that you look back on. And remember, I've taken so much pride in playing alongside my teammates in the LA community. So thank you for embracing my family and making this such a special place. 2024 began with one of the best training camps of my career. Preparations start now for 2025. Highly motivated, as healthy as ever. I'm looking forward to playing elite football for years to come. Love you guys, but coming for it all. Thank you, LA. So Cooper Kupp puts it out there. It's just breaking news. If you're on Twitter, you probably see this right now. Cooper Kupp says the team says they are looking for a trade partner. So there's no rumor. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, it's out there. But he is available for trade via Cooper Kupp. So will Washington check in on Cooper Kupp? We'll see. I'll have to do a video on that maybe tomorrow. The video ideas are lined up, guys. This is going to be a crazy offseason. We have Cooper Kupp saying he's getting traded, not demanding a trade, but the team straight up told him, hey, we're looking for a trade partner. And now we have Myles Garrett also demanding a trade. So there's a lot going on with this offseason, y'all. So hit that subscribe button because I'm going crazy this offseason. I can't wait. We're going to shake the league up in so many ways. All right, back to Myles Garrett. Cowboys are plus 400. They're the favorites to land Myles Garrett. But Washington is actually second highest odds according to Bet Online and a couple other betting sources. And I just saved this one because, look at that. Thank you, AI. Washington has second best odds of getting Myles Garrett at plus 500. Already ran through that. Yeah, Myles Garrett has requested a trade. Since 2022, he has a 95.1 PFF grade, which is first, 44 sacks, which is first, 24.4% pass rush win rate grade. Holy smokes. And let me get some chats real quick, and then we'll keep the screen going. Let's see. Where did I take off at? Radar said, may sound like the homer, but I see Myles as a Commander, but when the Browns trade him, it's going to be to an NFC team. Absolutely. They don't want him in the AFC at all. Like, can you imagine him going to like the Chiefs or something? That'd be stupid. I would do whatever it takes to get him. This is a top 5 all-around player in the league. Says I'll talk all the time. I agree. This, and what I said, it like this offseason is going to be crazy because players like Myles Garrett are not available ever. Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, maybe DK Metcalf, maybe Garrett Wilson, who knows? But you don't see players of this caliber just available. But there's so many changes going on in the league. There's so many teams having to start over. There's so many teams not competing for a Super Bowl. These big-time players want out. These big-time players want to go. No one told him to overpay for old nasty boy. Definitely Radar. E said big difference between a trade now and one post-June salary cap. Definitely. So I'm going to pull that up too, especially talk about John Allen, and we'll take a look at Myles Garrett as well. But if you do a post-June trade, just speaking of Myles Garrett, that's after the draft. The Browns are pretty much saying, hey, we're not going to do anything this year. The rebuild starts next year, which sucks for them. If they trade him post June 1st, then, like I said, you don't get that first from a team this year. You don't get a first, next year. You have to wait till post June, and then you're starting a year later. I don't know how that's going to work. If you're going to trade him, you want to do it before June 6th, because you want to go ahead and get this rebuild started. You want to get these assets. You want to build up as much, whether if they're drafting somebody in April, or if they're going to wait to get a quarterback, in free agency, and then the next year maybe, then getting, drafting a quarterback like R.G. Manning or Drew Aller, whoever. If you're the Browns, you don't want to get rid of your best player and then pretty much be like, we're going to suck next year because the rebuild's going to start that year after that. That's crazy. They can spread it out over 2 years, though, right? If it's a post-June 1st, they can. Giving up 2 first rounds is too much unless we get something back. So, I mean, like I said, in my opinion, and from what I've seen from a lot of people, it's going to take 2 firsts. That's like the starting offer. Teams are going to call and say, hey, we'll give you our first this year and our first next year. And if you think about that, our first this year, we already know it's pick 29. Pick 29. I have no problem giving rid of that pick. You're in the back of the first round because you make it to the NFC Championship game. Shout out to our boys. And next year, we should be just as good. So it's going to be a late round first next year too. So 2 first-round picks, in my opinion, that's fine. That's easy work. To be honest with you, that pick 29, there's probably a 60 to 65% chance you're drafting a DN there anyways. Just being honest with y'all. And I'm going to break down pick 29. I'm going to go so in depth with it soon. Like I said, I have so many videos to do. But that pick 29 could very, very, very much be a D end anyways. So trade 29, trade whatever the pick is going to be next year, 29, 30, 31, 32. Who cares? That's fine with me. I have no problem getting rid of 2 first-round picks, and I don't think that Adam Peters would be against it. I don't think that's off the table. This draft, and we've said this for months, since like October, November, this is not the best draft of all time. This isn't some deep draft in the first round at all. Scouts, executives, GMs, even at the Senior Bowl, people were talking about it. You have about 9 or 10 players in this draft that have a first-round grade. After that, you're really hoping that you just hit on some really good players that can make a difference year one. But there's a much higher chance of missing in the first round this year than other years in the past. You do have those big-time blue-chip guys like Abdul Carter, like Travis Hunter and all of them. But in the back of the first round, You're either getting a DN that just has a lot of really good tools and some upside, and you really hope that he produces year one, or you're getting a corner that had a season-ending injury like Benjamin Morrison or Siobhan Revel, or you're like wide receiver. There's not going to be, in my opinion, one there at the end of the first unless you're taking a chance on a Trey Harris, who I like in like the second. But it just, for me, I am so fine with giving up pick 29. I am so fine with that. But the thing is, that's probably not going to be enough. You might have to give up one other pick. You might have to give up like a fourth next year or something like that. Maybe a third if they're really, if you start bidding against other teams. Because teams are going to call. Teams are absolutely going to be calling. That's when it gets dangerous. When other teams say, hey, we'll do 2 firsts and a third. That price is going to start going up. I think that's the one thing people are missing on. I know we've seen some trades last season where like they only had to give up that for him. Like I'm thinking about like the Amari Cooper trade, like the D-Hop trade. Like I was like, that's all they had to give up? Like I would have done that. This is a different scenario. One, because it's Myles Garrett. But two, there's going to be so many teams that want Myles Garrett. It's going to be a bidding war. It's going to turn into a bidding war. But then it's also going to come down to, do you have the money for Myles Garrett? If you don't have the money for Myles Garrett, don't sit at the poker table. You ain't playing a hand if you ain't got the chips. You're not doing it. I'm good on Kupp. Pre-ESPN article, a post-June 1st trade would come with a dead cap charge of $14.8 million and a cap savings of almost $5 million. But I just, like I said, post-June 1st just doesn't make sense if you're the Browns. So more than likely, if a Garrett trade happens, then the trade happens post-June 1st. That's after the draft. That's after free agency. He's not going to want to, he wants out now. He doesn't want out June 1st. Like, it just doesn't make sense if I'm the Browns to wait that long. Yes, it's best for you, but from a team like right now that wants Myles Garrett, they want to trade for this draft because this draft's not good. 2027 might be one of the best drafts ever. I don't want to give away a first in the 2027 draft. I want to give up a first in the 2025 draft and the 2026 draft. And I think 2026 will be a really good draft too. But this is the year. This is the draft where you are so okay with getting rid of your first round pick. Like I said, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it because we're probably going to take a DN anyways. Just being honest with you. But it makes sense. The Browns are like, heck yeah, we want to wait. But also, they're missing out. They're having to wait another year to really rebuild. Or if they are just looking for ammo and stuff like that, then fine. And that's the case. But I just find it really hard for them to wait till post June 1st. That's best case scenario, but I don't see it happening. Kenny said, I'm good on Cooper Kupp. We don't need him. We need young and faster. Random said the fact that Browns need a clear cap to get rid of a player shows how bad the Deshaun Watson trade. You are literally having to get rid of money, or you're having to make room for money to get rid of your best player in your team. That's crazy. Tim said no thanks on Kupp. Radar said, honestly speaking, this would be a good year to potentially replace 95 production with the D-line class. You're not going to find a Myles, but there's some solid options. They should, in my opinion, they should get Abdul Carter. So like I'm saying, sorry, I'm trying to keep up with Cooper Kupp news. If anything happens, I'm just trying to keep up. They're talking about his money and stuff like that now. But you trade Myles Garrett right now. You get the 2 firsts. You get the first for this year, and you get the first for next year. And you get Abdul Carter to replace Myles Garrett. That's your next franchise guy. I think Abdul Carter is safely one of the best guys in this draft. Scouts agree. Like I said, there's only 9 or 10 first-round guys in this draft. Abdul Carter is probably the top 2 player in this draft between him and Travis Hunter. You get Abdul Carter to replace Myles Garrett. And then you get that other pick 29 if they trade with us. And then you get a first next year. And you can use that ammunition to make a trade for a player or to get a quarterback or whatever you decide to do. Draft somebody else at the end of the first. Say they get Abdul Carter and then draft a quarterback late in the first or get like a Siobhan Revel or another playmaker. It just makes a lot of sense. Rams just put Kupp on the market officially. Yep. Kenny said who's paying him $20 million for 2025 and a 7.5 roster bonus. He might be stuck in LA talking about Cooper Kupp. Where do you have Jalen Higgins going in the draft? I really want him here, but I don't know if he's there for us in the late second. First for him's a stretch. I do like him. I love seeing him at the Senior Bowl. I think he's a late second round guy for me right now. Exactly. Ain't nobody trading for Kupp. Great player, but he will be 30 before next year is over, and Washington has too many needs to be traded multiple first. So, Carmen, like I agree. Like, he's going to be 30 next year, but this guy is still in his prime. Like I said, the numbers are just outstanding. He produces every single year. 14 sacks last year, 14 the year before that, 16 the year before that, 16 the year before that. Tackles for losses, up almost in the 20s every single year. Forced fumbles, 3 last year, 4 the year before that, 2 the year before that. I mean, big time player. So I do want to bring up some other stuff on the screen, but I want to make sure I get through some of y'all's chats. Should we trade for Kupp to put at wide receiver 2? Sean said he's not a wide receiver 2. I mean, I think he's a wide receiver 2, but he does seem washed. I don't know. Let me do some more thinking and research on it, and I'll do a Cooper Kupp separate video. What 2 first rounders? No way in heck he's not worth it. He definitely is worth 2. And like I said, for the Browns to have to get rid of him for the dead cap hit they're going to have to take, and for the player that he is, like I said, 2 first is the starting offer. I don't see that being the final offer. I think that is the start, which is crazy. I know. But I'm okay doing this. What about this year's 1, next year 2, Payne and Allen? So let me go ahead and bring this up. Let me bring up John Allen. So if you watched my Senior Bowl video, I told y'all that while I was at the Senior Bowl, where the heck is my screen? I did ask an NFL insider. I said, just, hey, what do you think the chances that Daron Payne or John Allen gets traded? Fans pretty much just keep talking about it. And so I said, I want to test the water. What do you think? And he said, I would be shocked if either of them are traded because it just doesn't make sense. But if it's a player like Myles Garrett, maybe it makes things a little bit easier. So the team loves John Allen. This is John Allen right here. This is his contract breakdown. The team loves John Allen. 2025, he's 30 years old. He has a cap hit of $22.3 million. You're like, Josh, what does that look like if he's traded? Let's take a look. Like I said, it's probably, it doesn't really make a ton of difference. Honestly, it's pretty much the exact same. Pre-June 1st trade. That's what we're looking at. 2025 dead cap is $6 million. You are saving $16.3 million for 2025. If you trade John Allen, you are getting that savings, $16 million. But remember what I told you about the Browns. They don't have money. They have to make money to get rid of Myles Garrett. They cannot afford a player in this trade. Not Daron Payne, not John Allen. Unless it's a rookie, like the only one that would make sense is Jerzon Newton. The only player, if you want to talk about like interior D-line, the only player that it makes sense to trade for the Browns is Johnny Newton, which I don't see Washington trading 2 first and then a rookie that you just got that high in the draft. I don't see that. That doesn't make sense to me. I feel like you're kind of going backwards. Yes, you could draft. This is a really good interior D-line draft, and I'm not saying they won't draft somebody in the interior D-line in this draft. So for Washington, trading John Allen, you're saving $16.3 million, but the Browns can't afford to take on his money. They're going to say, take him off the trade. We can't afford it. We don't have money. You need to give us a rookie or you need to give us another pick. So the Browns are going to be looking for just picks, strictly just picks. So just remember that when you're talking about it on Twitter, when you're trying to do some mock draft, you're trying to do some trade, like, oh, we're going to just throw John Allen in there. That's not how this works. They can't afford to accept John Allen. They can't pay him. So just remember that. And same goes with Deron Payne. They can't afford him. And like I said, Washington is super high on John Allen. I would just be surprised, first off, if they traded John Allen or Deron Payne. If one went, honestly, it might be Deron Payne. But I just don't see that happening. So if you're going to trade for Myles Garrett and you're Washington, you're going to have to get rid of draft picks. Can Myles Garrett choose who he gets traded to? No, he does not have a no trade clause. He does not have a no trade clause at all. So he can't really decide. Question, can you trade now or teams have to wait after the Super Bowl? So I want to say that they have to wait for the new season, the new league year, which is like beginning of March. I'm pretty sure you have to wait. You have to wait. I'm trying to think of the exact date. I'll have to look it up. But I'm pretty sure it's like beginning of March. I know you can like re-sign like your free agents and stuff like coming up in a few weeks, like a week or two, but you have to wait. Sean said that Luka trade sent a shockwave through damn near every sport. Yep. I'm telling y'all, this is going to be a crazy offseason. I hate to say it, but with a cap hit of $36 million, I think Cleveland probably keeps Garrett for another year. So that's what I'm saying. Like, they want to keep him too. They don't want to get rid of him. It's not even just the money. It's because he's that good. They want him to retire there. But if that player of that caliber that has been your franchise guy his entire career, and if you don't listen to him, first off, if you're Cleveland, the very first thing you're doing to like cool this down, you're sitting down with him and saying, Myles Garrett, we have a contract to extend you 4 years to make you the highest paid defensive player in the league. That is the first thing you're doing. And to do that, once again, you have to make space anyways, but you're keeping Myles Garrett. You're restructuring the Watson deal, which has to happen. And if not, I'm flicking the bird at Deshaun Watson if I'm the Cleveland organization. You have to restructure him. You have to cut Conklin, and you have to restructure Denzel Ward. So you're going to have to have a conversation with those two guys if Myles Garrett. But that's what I'm saying. Shout out to Fowler. That's my guy. Jeremy Fowler came out and said, this is not some contract, tactic by Myles Garrett. He genuinely wants out to play for a contending team. And I talked about salary cap. God, this is the one thing I hate about over the cap is all their ads. Close. But so Washington cap space, third in the league, $78 million. And this is what I was talking about, effective cap space. Effective cap space is pretty much saying like this is your spending money because the $10 million difference, you have to pay pretty much your draft players in this draft. So just remember that. Like, we have the money for Myles Garrett. That's not a problem. The Browns, you got to keep going. They're $38 million over. So it's in their best interest to sit down with Myles Garrett and say, hey, we want to make you the highest paid defensive player in the league. They don't want to get rid of him. But at the same time, for an organization that already made the biggest mistake in paying Deshaun Watson, the masseuse quarterback, the weirdo, you're already being judged that heavy. If you want to restore, I don't want to say your look, but just your culture, you have to do right by Myles Garrett. If he wants out and he's saying, I want out, you don't hold a player like that hostage. You say, okay, Myles, we respect you. We're going to do right by you. But we have to get the right stuff in return for you because we're going to be taking a gigantic hit. They're already over the cap space. They're not going to be able to go out there and sign any free agents. They're not. They're going to have to restructure Watson, restructure Denzel Ward, cut Conklin. If they trade Garrett, they are in the hole big time. They have to make a lot of moves just to stay above the cap space. They are not going to be able to go into free agency and say, oh, well, we'll just sign some players. It is going to come down to them just getting as many assets as possible. So people are going to think 2 firsts is asking a lot. But for Myles Garrett And the Cleveland Browns organization, for what they have to do to get rid of them, 2 first-round picks is nothing. They're going to want 2 first and maybe, like I said, a third next year. I think that's what gets it done. I think when a team like the Patriots or the Raiders, I mean, could you imagine Crosby and Garrett? That'd be nuts. Or the Cardinals or whatever, the Chargers, heck, they got money. The team that it's not up to like, oh, who can pay them? There's plenty of teams that could pay them. Heck, the 49ers could, unless they pay Purdy. It's going to come down to who's willing to give up the most picks. It starts that every phone call they take, they're going to say, we're starting out at 2 first. What are you willing to give? And if they're just like, whatever, it's just like if the Washington Commanders and Adam Peters say, hey, 2 first is what we're comfortable with, they're hanging up on us. 2 first is not enough when it comes to the weight of how much they have to pay to get rid of Myles Garrett. They're not going to do that. They are not going to do that. Matthew Golden, love him. Savion Williams, I got to watch more film on him. Savion Williams, TCU. Yeah, I've seen him. He's really big, but I got to watch more film on him. Shout out to my boy Kyle. Love him. Thoughts on the Justin Tucker situation? He's a weirdo too. You could just tell something was wrong with him this year mentally. Something was just wrong. Would you trade Justin Tucker for 7th round pick? Absolutely not. That boy is cooked. And Washington would never trade for a player like that. Kupp still has plenty of juice. Goes without saying Myles Garrett would cook in this defense. Absolutely, Myles Garrett would be sick. I got to go back and just really watch Cooper Kupp from this past year. Because it did seem like at times that he was washed. Have you seen Savion Williams, a physical freak and has speed? I have seen him, but I just need to like actually I got all 22 of like everybody now. So I just got to watch more stuff. David, yo, what's up, Josh? Shout out from LA. HTTC, what's going on, David? Appreciate you coming through here. AP would likely trade John Allen or Deron Payne for picks to a team in need. Yeah, and like I said, it would be like a team like the Lions or someone like the Bengals or someone that needs interior D-line help, the Vikings, Chargers. But like I said, I just don't see that being the case. Everyone I talked to at the Senior Bowl, and like I said, I talked to a couple people, one big NFL insider, I'd say like a tier 2 NFL insider, no offense, said that he would be shocked if Washington traded John Allen or Deron Payne. But shocked. And I would too, because it just doesn't make sense. We have plenty of money, so it's not like we're just, we need to free up space, let's trade John Allen. That's really not how it goes. Beginning of March for the new year, yeah, definitely. Volume is super low. Can y'all not hear me? Let me know if you can't hear me. Ronaldo says volume's good. Appreciate it. I've been moving my mic around and stuff a lot too. So if y'all can't hear me or something, just let me know. I feel like I'm speaking pretty loud. Like I'm very passionate about this. So safe to say we picking up DeMarcus Lawrence and Khalil Mack if we don't get Garrett or Crosby. Yes and yes. In my opinion, if we don't get Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack is priority 1 on the defensive line. Absolutely, positively. I've already got that video idea ready to go. Khalil Mack is priority number 1. Speaking of like old guys in their prime, Khalil Mack is playing at an extremely high level. Had one of the best seasons last year, honestly. Crazy production out of Khalil Mack. If you don't get Myles Garrett, you don't trade 2 first and a 3rd or a 4th for Myles Garrett, and you don't pay him that big contract, you get Khalil Mack on a 1-year deal. And then maybe you draft somebody. My next video, I might go live tomorrow night and we're just going to talk about everything. Or tomorrow I'm going to talk about the Washington Commanders, like free agencies, all the free agents we have. There's a lot to talk about, guys. And there's just more news coming out every single day. So there's going to be days where I might drop 2 videos. Who knows? Or I might drop a video and then go live that night and we'll talk about stuff. Who knows? But like I said, make sure you are subscribed and like the videos. That pushes it out even more to other Washington fans. Y'all went crazy on that Senior Bowl video, almost at 10K views. Appreciate that. But that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be doing all off season. So I'm like, I just realized I'm using my hands a lot in this video too. STP, damn. Yeah. The Patriots have 120 million in salary cap. They got a lot of money. Browns are so poverty. It's crazy, says Ryan Spear. Will they ever be good? And no, I mean, they are so screwed right now in every which way. They are screwed in their team, quarterback, money situation. They are screwed literally everywhere. Commander Lauren, you're assuming Cleveland is smart. The GM office is horrible. Yeah, definitely terrible. Ryan Spear that are not going to be able to make any moves until they get rid of the Watson contract. So they've got like 2 years, which is crazy. Darth Gaming said a first and second gets it done. Don't see them getting 2 first. I just don't see it, man. I don't see it. We good on Freak Boys talking about Justin Tucker. Yeah, keep that nastiness in the AFC North. They got some weird stuff going up north. Allen and Payne are good. We just need 1 or 2 great DNs for them to cook. Sean, that might be comment of the night. So that's something else. Talking to scouts and people that cover NFL, PFF guys, everyone seems to agree Daron Payne and John Allen are actually good D tackles. Everyone outside of the Washington fan base thinks that Daron Payne and John Allen are really good D tackles. Now, did they take a step back after getting that contract when they had like double-digit sacks? Yes, we can talk about that. Does the effort need to be a little bit better here and there? Yes. But I'm telling y'all, if you go back and watch the film from this season, our run defense was bad because of Fowler and because of Armstrong and just the edges. Our edges could not stop the run at all. So anytime I see people talking about a DN in the draft that's bad at stopping the run, like a Kyle Kennard, it's just, I get chills down my spine. And I'm just going to talk about this real quick, and I'm going to go really in depth about this in the free agency. Fowler and Dorrance Armstrong were rotational guys when we got them in free agency. And pretty much, we obviously still rotated a little bit. Clelin Ferrell, saw a little bit of Javonte Jean-Baptiste. But they played a lot more snaps. They were pretty much like 3 down guys. Did we get production out of them? Yes. Did we get sacks? Yes. Did we get pressure, strip sacks? Yes. But at the same time, I love Dorrance Armstrong and I love Fowler. They both had great years. But they were rotational guys when we got them. Dorrance Armstrong was rotating behind Micah Parsons. And we forced him to be that starting guy. So maybe he just needs another season. Like he's been, that big time starting guy for a long time now. If you pair him with the Myles Garrett, I think Dorrance Armstrong could start next year. That's fine. But when you have an edge rusher who's more of like a speed rusher like a Fowler, and then you have a guy that did rotate in a bunch last year, and same with like Clelin Ferrell, he rotated in. And I don't have a problem with that. It's just, I feel like we were expecting too much or maybe asking too much of that edge room. We could not stop the outside runs. Saquon's big runs were to the outside. Bijan's big runs were to the outside. Everyone that ran the ball on us up the middle, they get nice little chunks, but the big plays came from the outside. So you have to get a DN that can stop the run, for the love of God. Khalil Mack can stop the run. Myles Garrett can stop the run. Guys in the draft, Nick Scorton, Shamar Stewart, Mike Green, even though he's undersized, Josiah Stewart, they can stop the run. Princely, Umana from Ole Miss can stop the run. So don't send me some mocks with like, oh, Kyle Kennard. He cannot stop the run. He's a really good pass rusher. But I want someone that can do both. We cannot run it back another year of a D end that just runs past the running back or can't set the edge. They're getting thrown out the club, whether it's somebody pulling, whether it's a tight end, whether it's just a tackle. The D ends could not stop the run to save their lives. And I saw it on tape all season. I'm like, here goes Saquon to the outside. Yep. Bobby Wagner got blocked in the second level because it's a numbers game. But the edge's responsibility is to set the edge and to make the running back cut back inside on these outside runs and run into that traffic, run into Daron Payne, run into John Allen, run into Bobby, run into Louisville. But that's not what's happening. Running backs are going to the outside, and they said, oh, shit, there's a wide open lane for me. Let me take this to the crib. I'm not being forced to cut back. They're hitting that D gap or even C gap sometimes, depending how wide the edges go. And they're just running straight up. It's not like they're having to fight for anything. They're not forced to cut back to the A gap and the B gap. and run into all that traffic for a gain of 1 or for a loss. I'm telling y'all, if you get Myles Garrett, Deron Payne, and John Allen, people are going to watch next year and be like, oh man, they're playing really good this year. I would assume so because they have reliability on the edge. And heck, even if you trade for Myles Garrett, I'm going to get back to y'all's comments. But Sean, I just had to address this. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an Alabama fan. Because there are times where I watch the game and I'm like, Deron, bro, where's the effort? John Allen. Then he gets hurt and he comes back. Like he's like, I'm not missing out on this playoff run. Even if you trade for Myles Garrett, I am fine signing Khalil Mack to a 1-year deal. And then you're probably going to lose Fowler, but having Javonte Jean-Baptiste and Dorrance Armstrong rotating in with Khalil Mack and Myles Garrett, Khalil Mack's got another year, maybe 2 max. You can get him on a good 1-year deal here. If you say, hey, Khalil, we got John Allen, we got Deron Payne, we got Jerzon Newton in the middle. And then, oh yeah, by the way, we're trading for Myles Garrett. I think I have to look into what the market's going to be like maybe for Khalil Mack, but I think you can still sign him to a 1-year deal. Could you imagine that D-line? And something else, I have not even talked about this entire stream. We're almost at an hour. You have a top 5, I think he's the fifth best already, quarterback in the league, and Jaden Daniels. You have a quarterback on a rookie deal. So let's look at these quarterbacks or these teams that have quarterbacks on a rookie deal. Patriots, Raiders might. The Bears with Caleb. The Vikings, if they decide to go the J.J. McCarthy way. 49ers, they got to pay Brock. Titans might if they draft, Cam Ward, Shadur, whatever. Same with the Giants if they draft a quarterback. The only team that is competing is the Washington Commanders. And I've said this for so many years, the most glorious thing, the biggest luxury in the NFL is having a rookie quarterback with a team that competes. Ask the 49ers. But now they have to pay Brock Purdy. They were so close. They just couldn't get it done. Made it to the Super Bowl. Couldn't get it done. The biggest luxury in the NFL is having a rookie quarterback on a rookie deal with a good team that is competing. And guys, we made it to the NFC Championship game. Year 1 of a recalibration. DeAndre Taylor said, go get Garrett here now. Rasul Douglas, I'm not against it. Not against it. What do you think we would have to give up for Garrett? I think you would have to give up 2 firsts and a 4th next year. That's like my official offer, which I'm fine with because it's too late first. It's too late first. A 1st this year, 1st next year, and a 4th next year. But like I said, you're gonna have to start bidding against these teams like the Cardinals, like the Patriots, like the Chargers. Maybe the Lions. I don't know. Maybe the Bears. I don't know. I think the biggest threat would be the Patriots, the Cardinals, but he wants to go somewhere where he can compete. So to be honest with you, a team I think no one's really talking about is the Bills. And you're like, what the heck, Josh? How's that going to happen? They don't have money. They can make it work financially. They can make some stuff happen. They can restructure some contracts and get him there. I think they could send Greg Russo to the Browns. But like I said, the Browns really don't want players because they can't afford anyways. They don't even have the money to send Myles Garrett away. Also, what do you think we would do with the 1st round pick? As of right now, like I said, I'm going to do a pick 29 video. I am at 60% edge rusher. I'd say 30% tackle, 30% corner. But I'm leaning heavily on edge rusher. So that's what I'm saying. I'm fine giving up pick 29 if you're going to draft Nick Scorton or James Pierce Jr. if he falls, which I think Matt Miller did in his mock draft, thinks he does. But I think pick 29 as of today, and this draft board changes a lot. It changes a lot. But edge is so deep in this draft, I think 29 would be the best player available, would be an edge, unless someone just completely shakes up the board, whatever. The champ depends, but I think we go wide receiver, talking about pick 29, or corner with pick 29, depending on who's available. There's just not, in my opinion, going to be a wide receiver worth it at 29. I think the ones that are first round picks are already going to be taken because there's not that many. And then corner, it's going to be really tricky. But I think the best player available would be a DN. Shout out to Charles. Appreciate Charles. I think you're down here in Austin with me. Smash that like button. Definitely hit the subscribe and like button, y'all. Appreciate y'all. We're going crazy this offseason. FC North needs to stop eating the yellow snow. Absolutely. Playoff JA was different. I'm telling y'all, that Detroit game, he went crazy. If we can get John Allen in that Detroit game all season long, we are going to be just fine in the interior D-line. Playoff John Allen was a mess. Shout out to him. Browns have no leverage. Also, Payne should get restructured, extend McLaurin, maybe release Wiley, and you have more cap space available. So I do think a 3-year deal for McLaurin could be happening. I think so. That's just my opinion on what the vibes are. I think a 3-year deal for Terry McLaurin's coming. Wiley, I got to look more into his screw it, let's go look. Andrew Wiley, while we're here. If I can spell his name right. Not quietly. Andrew Wiley. Let's take a look. Cap space. He is a 10.4 mil cap hit next year. Let's look at the Magic Scissors. Pre 6-1 release. Today to March 14th. I guess because he's getting some kind of bonus in March. There's a lot of players getting bonuses in March. 2025 dead caps. That's another thing too about the salary cap that I was showing y'all on Over the Cap. The effective cap space. Excuse me. I said it's going to draft players, but is also going to bonuses for players. Whether it's production bonuses, whether it's making it to the NFC Championship game, like bonuses are going to teams too. So just remember, we likely have, what was the number? 68 mil in cap space, roughly almost 69 mil in cap space. So just keep that number in the back of your head. It's not 100 mil. Everyone keeps telling me on Twitter, Josh, we have 100 mil in cap space. I'm like, guys, that number was from like September, October. That's not what it is. So the thing for me though is like, if Cosme's out for a year, kick Wiley inside at guard where he played with the Chiefs. To me, that's best case scenario. If you're going to pay him anyways, like I said, we have money. I know there's that one article that said he's a cap release kind of guy. You're saving 7.7 mil from now to March. From March to June 1st, you're saving 6.7 mil. I mean, I could see it either way. I feel like he had a pretty good season, though. He had a pretty good season, though. It's just like, are you willing to get rid of him to save 7.7 mil or 6.7 mil whenever it falls, when you now have a glaring need at right guard, and then you're also making a hole at right tackle? And a lot of fans don't think Brandon Coleman's the answer at left tackle. People think that he needs to move into guard. I think he can move into guard. So then Washington would have to draft a high tackle. And I'm going to do a guard video soon too. Like I said, I've planned out probably the next 10 to 15 plus videos, not even counting the breaking news that happens. But just speaking of Wiley, because you brought it up, if you need cap space, sure, but then you're giving yourself another glaring hole in an offensive line that a lot of people already think needs to be revamped. So I just don't really agree with it. I think that's like an emergency, like break in case of emergency. Let's get rid of them, June 1st or whatever, post June 1st before training camp. Kind of like what we did with the tackle we had. What's his name? I'm blanking on it. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I'm going to think of it after this. I'm going to be pissed. But he was a post June 1st cap hit because we had the people to play the offensive line, and it made sense financially. Gosh, this is going to bother me. I can't remember his name. But let's see. Mill said Fowler and Armstrong were both undisciplined. Yes. I never liked the Armstrong move. I did like the Fowler. Armstrong wasn't worth the contract. It's just neither of them can stop the run. The outside runs are because of safety and corner play. I mean, that too, but as an edge, you have to set the edge. Like, you have to set the edge. It's in their title. They literally couldn't set the edge as an edge. Exactly, Corey. Pretty much nailed it. LOL. Facts when you deem that can stop the run and pass rush. Yes. And the outside runs were so predictable pre-snap. Exactly. Especially like on pools and stuff like that. Darth Gaming, I want Lawrence and Mack both can stop the run if Washington releases Allen or does something with Allen and Payne. I want Joseph Day at D tackle as a replacement. Or what's his name? Osa from the Cowboys has been linked to us at D tackle. Would not be surprised at all. I love him, but I don't want to give up tons of our draft capital. So it depends, like, what's too much to you. It's got to be more than 2 firsts, in my opinion. Man, Khalil Mack, Myles Garrett, Payne Allen would feed families. It would feed countries. Pats have too many holes. I don't see them making an offer. I don't see it either. I like Mack stops run, gets sacks, won't have to give up picks, and won't need as much money as Garrett. He is not that much better than Garrett to where he should give up all that. So, once again, if you don't get Garrett, I think Khalil Mack's priority 1 with the defensive line for sure. If you could say one left right tackle from this draft, who would it be? At 29, gosh. See, the right tackles, I have a lot of the right tackles moving to guard, like Emory Jones from LSU. And you're going to see that a lot, too. That's another thing. A lot of these tackles, people are going to say, he needs to move to guard. And I there's not that many right tackles I like. I think your best case would be moving Brandon Coleman to right tackle and then drafting a left tackle. At 29, it would probably be Josh Connolly Jr. from Oregon. And then a guy that people have, I've seen some people have him as late first, but then now people have him in like the late second, is my guy, Ariante Ursary from Minnesota. If you can get him in the second, I think that's amazing. Big dude. He has flexibility issues, so maybe some of these speed guys would give him some trouble, but people really like him. But there's just a lot of tackles in this draft that are going to be pushed to guard. And I think Emory Jones from LSU is one of them for sure. Just seeing him at the Senior Bowl. I mean, he had good reps at right tackle. I'm not saying he's terrible at right tackle, but he just looked way more comfortable at right guard. I think that's a move that has to happen. But yeah, I'll go more in depth in future videos of like breaking down offensive tackles that could be a realistic option in the first, second, maybe a guy like Anthony Belton from NC State, who in my opinion, a lot of people agreed, had one of the best offensive tackle performances at the Senior Bowl. He outperformed Josh Connolly in my opinion. Anthony Belton from NC State, I could see him being a 3rd round guy. He just has consistency issues, but he was really good all week long. So, adding Josh Sweat, I saw he already like changed his agents and stuff. Like, he's looking ahead before the Super Bowl even happens. He's definitely one of the best free agent edges available. Do you think Gray Zabel was a 1st round pick? He had a crazy year too. Everyone I see talking about him as a late 1st round guy, but he's going to be an inside. He would be a plug-in guy at right guard though, for sure. If I'm AP, I don't overthink it. Which teams in the NFC would be a realistic Super Bowl window with cap space and doesn't already have 30+ million defensive player? Only Washington checks all this. Yeah, there's not any other NFC team that's going to be competing for Super Bowl, in my opinion, that has the money and trade assets. Do we still go after T? So that's something else that I was like listening for at the Senior Bowl. People think that T Higgins is going to be somewhere floor about 30 mil a year. Ceiling, the more realistic, probably 33 to 35 a year, which is a lot. That's a lot. I just don't know if you can get him and Garrett, because Washington does have a ton of free agents this year. I think that's something people need to think about too and remind themselves. We have a lot of free agents compared to we can look at it right now, y'all. 2025 free agents. Maybe I should have gone to teams. There we go. We'll just do this. Get all these ads out of here, man. Look, I didn't say go up top. All right. We have a lot of free agents. We have 30 free agents on the team. That is like 10 plus more than other teams like the Patriots, like the Cardinals. We have 30 free agents. Bobby Wagner, starter. Marcus Mariota. Teams are going to be asking about him and, offering him money. Schefter already said the Raiders and the Dolphins are interested in Marcus Mariota in free agency, so they might offer him some money. Jeremy Chin, starter. KJ Osborne, whatever. Clelin Ferrell, whatever. Tress Way, starter. Dante Fowler, got a lot of reps. Michael Davis, whatever. Zach Ertz, starter. I think he comes back for a year. Cornelius Lucas, you got to find a way to bring him back. He's like our backup. Michael Dieter, whatever. Trent Scott, I'm cool bringing him back. I know him and Lucas are both old, 31 and 33. I don't care. Bring him back. Jamison Crowder, that's a tough one. I think he comes back cheap. Noah Benogany, depth at corner, absolutely. Bring him back. Say Juiced, kick rocks. Alameda Zacchaeus comes back cheap, sure. De'Ami Brown, I think he shops the market. I'm fine losing De'Ami Brown. People call me crazy, whatever. Noah Brown, if you can bring him back cheap, cool. The only two wide receivers that aren't free agents next year is Terry McLaurin and Luke McCaffrey. So just remember that. Nick Ballard, bring him back. Special teams menace. Sheldon Day, bring him back. Driscoll, whatever. Jeremy McNichols, we'll see. Walker, special teams guy. Zane Gonzalez, we need another kicker. Jalen Holmes, whatever. Siebert, Siebert was money when he was healthy. Bates, I'm cool losing him. Forrest, whatever. Chris Rodriguez, whatever. Kevon Seymour, whatever. We have 30 free agents. Like, just remember that. People saying, we're going to spend all this money. We got all this money. We still got to bring back a lot of our guys. Bobby Wagner's a 1-year deal. Zach Ertz is a 1-year deal. A lot of these guys are going to be a 1-year deal. Chen could probably get like a 2-3-year deal from us. And the first year would be cheap, and then it just kind of goes up the next 2 years. Kind of like what we did with Austin Eckler. Kind of like what we did with Biotish. A lot of those free agents this past year. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole free agent video, but 30 free agents. Holy smokes. That's a lot of free agents. Like we have a lot of money, but we got a lot of people we got to bring back. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Amir said, I'm trading a first this year, a 2027 third, and John Allen Dron Payne for Myles Garrett. They cannot afford to take on a player of John Allen and Dron Payne caliber. They just can't afford it. They don't have money to pay. Starting right tackle for $10 million is a bargain. No need to cut him. Plus, he could play guards. It just would not make sense. Bingo, Jonte Smith. That's it. You're paying him $10 million. You already have a glaring need at right guard because Cosme is going to be out at least half the season. He tore his ACL. He just had surgery. He's going to be out for a while. Like, he's not going to be, if he's ready by week 1, then like Iron Man is his doctor and he just has some kind of, or Wolverine. He got the Wolverine treatment. Like, I don't see him. He's not starting the season. He's either going to be out for half the season, or don't be surprised if he's out like all next season. So I'm going to do that video soon too, giving thoughts on like right guard replacements, especially for agency. There's a good list of free agents for right guard. Myles said he'd like to play for the Eagles. Absolutely. Duh. I think Howie would try to make a way too. Look, man, any team could make cap space for Garrett. The issues are you willing to part ways with 2 first rounders plus? That is a big question too. First, third, Allen will not cut it. They can't take Allen. We may trade out of the first for more picks, honestly, which I think is definitely on the table too. I think it's definitely a possibility. But if it takes 29, a first next year and a fourth next year, I'm doing it. Any thoughts, positive, negative on Jonah out of Arizona? So yeah, he's a guard too. I think he looked good when he had right guard reps at the Senior Bowl. Definitely need to go back and watch this film though. I haven't been able to do everybody just because there's so many draft prospects. But I liked him this week. I think he's definitely got a shot at being a right guard. Now that the Rams are going to trade Cooper, what would you offer for an old Kupp? If they say we can get Kupp for like a 5th or like let me see what. Let me go to Tankathon. NFL. Let me go to Washington because it has all of our picks. So let me just show this real quick. Whoops. No, I don't want to upgrade or update my computer. So this is our current draft picks. We got a first, a second, a third, a fifth, a sixth, a seventh, and a seventh. We don't have a fourth. And they have a mock draft. Jack Sawyer, Alika Yamanor, and Zay Alexander. I wouldn't be pissed, but it's not the most exciting. I'd offer, would I offer 148 for Cooper Kupp? Tell me, would y'all offer? I'm just saying, let's just pick that pick right now. Would you offer the 148th overall for Cooper Kupp to fill in that need at wide receiver for another year? I just feel like, I mean, like I said, we saw Amari Cooper, we saw D Hop go for like a fifth, sixth, whatever. I'm like maybe 207. Maybe 207. Am I willing to trade 148 for Cooper Kupp? Was Deion Walker really that bad to see? But no, he won't bad. He's just been battling like back injuries, he told me. I thought he was good. We have 7 picks still just shuffled. Yep. I think we get one of Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, or Higgins. I would love Chris Godwin. I think he's going to be cheaper too because of the injury he had. No way I'm giving up 148 for Kupp when we can sign Godwin for less. DC Dave said, damn injuries though. Yeah, he's hurt. Radar said, nah. Tyler, 207, sure. Bradley, what's going on, man? Said, hell no, don't need Cooper Kupp. Too old and injury prone. 148, too rich in this draft. So that's the thing. Like, there's just not that many good wide receivers in this draft. Like, I'd rather draft if Kyle Williams is there at 148, and I feel like he would be. I would much rather get Kyle Williams at 148 than trade that for Cooper Kupp. 207, 238, then we're like talking for Cooper Kupp. I'm good on Godwin after his injury. Tyler said we need defense. Give no picks away, says Commander Lauren. So, I mean, I don't know. I just, if we trade it for Cooper Kupp, I'd say the highest I'm giving up is 207. But I would offer 238. Like, just shits and giggles. Jaden Higgins from Iowa State. Any word on him? Yeah, he's good. I really like him. I thought he had a good game too. He had a good week. Really fast footwork for his size. You would probably get him at pick 61 if he's there, which I think he would be. I think Higgins would be there at 61. What corners in the NFC are stopping Cooper? I'm giving 207 for him. So that's the thing. If he's healthy, Jordan. But that's the thing. You're kind of banking on his health. And, of course, he says, I'm good to go. Like, best training camp I've ever had last season. But then he got hurt. Radar said, what does the contract look like for Kupp? So they were talking about it while we were on live. Let me see. Someone was talking about it. Let me see. Puka Nacua said, so I thought it was just the NBA trade season. All right. Adam Schefter said, now that the Rams have said they will look to trade Cooper Kupp, here is the cost. If Kupp is traded, his new team would inherit $20 million of his salary in 2025 and $19.85 million in 2026 unless his contract is negotiated. Yikes. That is a big yikes. All right, Shefty. Just so y'all can see it. I mean, he's got a hell of a beard. I'll be honest with y'all. I'm jealous. But if you trade for Cooper Kupp, you would inherit $20 million. That's the same money for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was like, 19.8? 20 mil in 25 and 19.85 in 26. Holy shit. Cooper Kupp, I love you, man. White lightning. But I'm not paying you 20 mil in the year 2025. I'm not doing that. Need those late picks to potentially draft my kicker. Ryan Fitzgerald out of Florida State, man. We're drafting you in the 6th. Noah Brown coming back, or is he done? I liked him for us, and he's good at blocking. I think he would be willing to come back at a cheap deal. I think he'd be good for next year. Like I said, we have 2 wide receivers that are on contracts next year. That's not good. That's not good. So we're gonna have to sign some of these guys like Noah Brown, Alameda Zaccheaus, Jamison Crowder, just to refill the wide receiving room. But having 2 is not good. Luther Burden the first. So I don't know if Luther Burden has like prospect fatigue just because he didn't do any all-star games or whatever. But I think some people still have him I think he's still a teens, wide receiver. I think a lot of people mocking him to the Cowboys. I don't see him last until the end of the first. I think that'd be crazy. I would honestly be shocked. That'd be one of the biggest shocks of the draft to me. Now, if he makes it to the end of the first to us at 29, absolutely, I'm getting him. But Luther Burden is very limited. He did not play outside. Very, very few. He's not an outside wide receiver. He is a slot wide receiver, which is fine to me. I'm cool with that. But you just have to realize that he is going to be your slot guy. Can he be a wide receiver 2 from the slot? Yeah. Guys like Jackson Smith and Jigbo, yeah. Chris Godwin, I think he's the same thing. I think he can play outside a little bit, but he's going to be your slot. Chris Godwin's a slot guy. So you're just going to have to realize Luther Burden is going to be your inside guy. You still have to find your other outside guy opposite of Terry McLaurin. Who is going to be that guy? Is it going to be Noah Brown? I don't think so. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it is Cooper Kupp. I don't know, but I'm not paying that kind of money. Honestly, man, I'd trade for DK Metcalf. If I knew we were getting Luther Burden in the slot, I would definitely trade for DK Metcalf. Adam Peters is the draft first guy. I don't think he gives up a 5th for a washed Cooper Kupp. But people do have to remember, Adam Peters made some aggressive trades with the 49ers. He knows what that window is like. And he knows he has a quarterback on a rookie deal, and he wants to take advantage of that. Sign T. Higgins and re-sign Noah Brown and Diami. Like I said, I don't know. Diami said, I'm going to test the market and all this stuff. We'll see. I'm going to sign T and draft Luther Burden. That'd be perfect. That's your X, Y, and slot done. Eugene Asante, Auburn linebacker. He's good. He looked fast. He looked really fast. I would give next year 5. That can be 4 if he can stay healthy. But you're still paying him a lot. Wow, too much. Hell no. Yep. Again, I'd give up 207 only because we have a lot of cap, but he's overpaid. Adam Thielen 2.0. Okay, now 20 mil is crazy. I didn't think it was that much. I didn't think it was going to be that much. I don't want Kyle Pitts. I really don't. I saw that today. I was like, if we're going to do that, if we're going to trade for Kyle Pitts, I feel like you can get a tight end that could produce year 1, year 2 in the draft. But I think they bring back Zach Ertz. I think Ben has a bigger role next year. And I think you just get either a late round tight end or you get the free agent class for tight ends is bad too. It's a good wide receiver free agent class. It's not bad. It's not bad. I don't think it's the best, but it's not bad. I'd rather shoot for Myles Garrett and draft a wide receiver in the 2nd or 3rd round. I'm with you on that. We saw what Jaden Daniels did with the wide receiver room we had. I think he could bring out the best in a guy like a Jaden Higgins in the 2nd or 3rd round. If Javon Reveal's there or Mika Fawlty 29 to take one of them, yeah, that'd be great. Yo, what up, JT? Thoughts on Elijah Arroyo, Corey Kinner, and Teddy Buchanan? So I haven't seen any of Kinner and Buchanan, but Elijah Arroyo was a monster at the Senior Bowl. Dude is a receiving threat. I saw somewhere that there's only 5 ball carriers in the NFL that recorded faster times than him in the NFL this year. He ran 22 miles an hour, which is insane for a tight end. Nick Westbrook-Akine, hey, I'm down. I'm good on Dudu Brown. Keenan Allen, a free agent, so we possibly take a look at him. I don't know. Maybe. I really want either DK or Wilson. I receiver. Same. Kyle Pitts still can't run any routes. Yeah, I'm not big on Kyle Pitts. Ben is more of a juice check spelling than a Kittle, and that's okay. See, the thing is, they used him like that at Kansas State. Now he's having to kind of just learn that full tight end position. And tight end is already one of those positions where it usually takes 2-3 years for that tight end to start really breaking out, unless you are like a Brock Bowers or someone insane like that. I would love Tyler Warren from Penn State. I have him as a top 5 player in the entire draft. I know it's a hot take. I don't think he makes it. There's no way he makes it past the Colts, Bengals, Broncos, Chargers, all need tight ends. Would you give pick 29 and 79 for Garrett Wilson? Yes, absolutely. Definitely. Is Burke first round? No, he's definitely not first round. I don't know if I would take him in the second. I feel like there's just so many corners better than him. I think Denzel Burke goes in the third. Mason Taylor, I personally hate him just because of what he did to Alabama with Jaden Daniels when they beat us. But he's actually good. I think he had a really good week this past week at the Senior Bowl too. He left early. He didn't even play in the games because he had a really good week. But he was catching everything. I was really impressed. If Zach Ertz doesn't come back, if you can get him in we don't even have a fourth. But I don't know. Maybe we trade back and like I said, we don't have a fourth. I don't think Mason Taylor will be there in the fifth. I feel like that's kind of crazy. But if we trade back, maybe we make some kind of trades and you get a fourth, then I'd be cool with that. I think we get another Kittle type Mason Taylor in this draft. Yeah, that'd be cool. What kind of deal would you give Nick Westbrook Akine? I wonder if they have. Let's just do. Let's see real quick. I'm going to end this soon, y'all. But like I said, I'm going to be going live a bunch. I'm going to be doing individual streams on this stuff. But I want to answer y'all's questions and get to it as much as possible. Nick Westbrook Akine, market value. 3.9 million. Welcome to Washington, bud. Heck yeah. I would do that. 3.9 mil a year. Market value 2 years, 7.8 mil. Shoot. Yeah, he's gonna be turning 28. I didn't think he was that old. I feel like he was younger. But yeah, this dude was a touchdown machine this year. He had that touchdown against us. Heck yeah, I would do that. I'll do that in a heartbeat. I love Mason at the bottom of the second. That's a little too high for me. DC Dave, great show. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, man. Thanks for stopping in here. Like I said, everybody hit the subscribe button, hit that like button. You're going to see me every single day, whether it's live or whether I drop a video. I already got the next one for tomorrow picked out. Any big OT projects you saw that could go in 2 and 3? I like Coleman at tackle, but seemed a bit limited. So I'm going to bring my boy Donovan on here soon. I got to text him. I'm going to bring him on here. We're going to talk offensive line because he played offensive line in college, won a MAC championship. Shout out to Donovan White. He's a Washington fan. In the second or third round, Anthony Belton at NC State was my guy from this past week. Like I said, you just have to be careful looking at offensive tackles in this draft because a lot of them are probably going to get projected at guard. So just remember that. Like I said, I'm gonna bring that up when I do that video. My only knock on Mason is he's Jason's kid. Jason was at the Senior Bowl, and that dude looked like he could still play. I was like, holy smokes, he is in crazy shape. Shop with Charles, do we get any comp picks this year? Absolutely not. We get 0 comp picks, which sucks. We didn't lose any big free agents. We just signed a ton. We signed a ton of people, if I can speak. Yeah, it's just we don't get any comp picks. Do I want comp hits? Not really. I don't. Especially if I had trade picks for them. I'm just going to draft one. I think Coleman ultimately ends up at left guard. Maybe he gets kicked to right guard. You know anything about Ozzie Trapilo? He's a huge Boston College guy. I think he stays at right tackle. That dude was huge. I thought he had a pretty good week too. It's just not that good of a right tackle class. But Ozzie was a big boy. Nick Westbrook and Darius Slayton were my sleeper wide receivers free agency. Yes and yes. I am all in getting both of those guys. Both of them. Josh, have you seen the statement made from Kyron Lacy's attorney? Yeah, I did. What are the chances he even gets drafted, assuming he could be acquitted? So, I mean, the Senior Bowl pulled his invite, obviously. I mean, he's innocent until proven guilty. I know it was a terrible look, though. I just need more stuff to come out. For me, it's just too soon to That's a weird tweet. I just got to see more stuff come out before I'm not gonna sit here and say, oh no, I'm not touching him because he's guilty, or I'm not saying like, oh, he's innocent, but he's innocent until he's proven guilty. But it's just a terrible situation, terrible. But I did see that today, and he tweeted like something about like, oh, the facts will come out, whatever. I don't know. We'll see. I'd be a fan of bringing in Mike Gesicki. Don't think he'd be that expensive. Yeah, if you lose Zach Ertz, I'm cool with getting Gesicki, but you need more out of Ben Sinnott. We need to see what Ben Sinnott can do. I think so too. Do you think Allen is traded and Payne finishes out his contract? So guys, I said it on here, and then I said it in my Senior Bowl video, which I said, if you have not seen that Senior Bowl video, go check it out. I gave you all the nuggets from all the guys I liked, fits that I think Washington was taking a look at, players I talked to, agents I talked to, just intel. Check out that video. But I asked an NFL insider from ESPN. He was at the Senior Bowl watching practice, and this is the same guy I talked to last year about the whole Dan Quinn thing. He said he would be shocked if John Allen or Daron Payne gets traded, and I agree with him. Like, after looking at it and breaking it down financially, the only reason you would trade John Allen's like worst case scenario with the money, but we don't need the money. Like, I broke down the contract earlier of like what the change ends up being, and it just doesn't make sense to me. I think, let me see. John Allen's got one more, if I could spell, one more year on his contract after this. So he's a free agent in 2026. So I see John Allen finishing out his contract. And like I said, people, you have to like watch for the smoke too. If someone comes out and says, hey, this guy is an extension candidate, which people are calling John Allen, maybe, they restructure it financially. It makes sense. They add 2 years to it. You get him at a good deal, whatever. Daron Payne's a free agent in 2027. I think they both finish it up. Daron Payne is a $26 million cap hit next year, which is a lot. Holy smokes. And you take in a lot of dead cap. If you release Daron Payne, which is not going to happen, you have a dead cap hit space of 25.8 mil. You're taking a dead cap hit of 25.8 mil. That is nuts. A trade, you're taking a dead cap hit of 16.8 mil and you're saving 9.3 mil. To me, that's still a big chunk. It's just not worth it. Post June 1st trade, you're taking a dead cap hit of 5.6. If Daron Payne's gone, it's going to be post June 1st. Dead cap hit of 5.6 mil. You're saving in 2025, 20.5 mil. 2026 dead cap of 11.2 mil. So you go into 2026 losing a lot of money, but you're saving a bunch of money in 2025. But by then, you've already made all these signings and stuff like that. It's post June 1st. It doesn't make a lot of sense. And then same with post June 1st release. You're losing a ton of money. It just, like, to me, financially, it doesn't make sense to get rid of Daron Payne. Doesn't make sense. Your potential out's 2026 next year. Which, I mean, even then you have a pretty big dead cap hit. It would be a pre-June 1st because you're saving about 16.8 mil next year. So I think Daron Payne, maybe he doesn't finish his contract out, but it would be next year. It's not going to be this year. You're losing so much money. We need to see what Ben Sinnott can do. Offseason wish list definitely includes Charvarius Ward, Travion Henderson. Both, absolutely, yes. I want Charvarius Ward here bad. And I think Adam Peters can get him here. Multiple first-round picks, multiple second-round picks, possibly some third and fourth in a player. No things on Myles Garrett. If Myles really wants out, I'm doing this year second, next year first. It's got to be two firsts. Got to be two first. Man, I wish people would give Allen some more. I wish people would give Allen some more love. That's my guy. I hope he restructures and retires here. I mean, I agree with you. I've never understood the Allen hate, just because maybe he's not getting the same sack numbers he did, the contract year. Yeah, John's one of you that wants to stay here. Shiloh Sanders will be the best safety in the XFL next year. Watch. Hey. Keep both D tackles and add Khalil Mack. Yes, my way 21. That is the way. Would you sign Josh Palmer's potential OZ or Noah Brown replacement? Yeah, I actually like Josh Palmer. I'm for it. We were way better against the run with John Allen and Payne on the field. We have Cap. It's not happening. Exactly, Tyler. It doesn't make sense. So that's the end of the stream, y'all. We've been going an hour and a half. That's crazy. Appreciate y'all for showing love on the stream. Hit the subscribe and like button on the way out. Like I said, you're going to see me pretty much every day. And there's going to be days where I even maybe drop 2 videos depending on what happens. This offseason is going to be nuts. So subscribe, like, hell, turn on notifications. Like I said, I'm going to drop a video tomorrow. Maybe it's going to be about what Josh Harris said today. Maybe it's about Cooper Kupp. We'll see. I haven't decided. Tyler said peace out. DC Dave said notifications on. Listen to DC Dave. Turn on the notifications because I'm going crazy this offseason. They're just monumental. I have a big phone call tomorrow that I'm not going to share yet. Hopefully it goes well. I will be moving back to Southern Maryland or Northern Virginia in time for rookie minicamps, right after the draft. So I'm going to be so plugged in. If you thought I was plugged into this team from Austin, Texas, wait till I'm staying 20 minutes from Ashburn, 20 minutes from the stadium. Y'all are going to be sick of me. Gregory said Kupp being traded. Maybe we can get him. So yeah, maybe that'll be the video I do tomorrow. I might go live. All right, hell, I'm going to announce it. Tomorrow will be a Cooper Kupp video. Will I go live or will I just drop a video? I don't know. I love y'all, so maybe I'll go live again tomorrow, same time. The hell with it. We'll see what numbers this video does tomorrow morning. We'll see what the numbers look like. And if it's good and if I like it, and if y'all showing up like y'all always do, then I'll go live again. But sometimes the higher view videos are like the ones where I put out, give it some good tags. You know, people just watch it whenever they want to. But I like these lives. These ones are longer too. And I like interacting with y'all. I like getting y'all's input. So I might just go live. Go live? All right. Fuck it. I'm going live then. So same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Eastern time. What time is it now? 7:30 Central. 7 o'clock tomorrow night. I should be done with my phone call by then. Definitely should be. We'll talk about Cooper Kupp. Is he worth trading for? What will we trade him for? But then all that money that comes with it. So show up tomorrow. Appreciate y'all. Subscribe on the way out. Hit the like button so more Washington fans can get brought on. But guys, I'm so excited for this offseason. We have so much to talk about. I'm going live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern time, I believe, on Bleacher Report. I'm like their guy now. They've narrowed it down to one guy and they picked me, which is sweet. I'm going live every Wednesday and I'll pick a topic. So maybe this Wednesday my topic will be like the Washington free agents, and then I'm going live next Monday. The discussion is why Washington will win the Super Bowl next year. They already gave me the topic for that, so I'll be doing it live on there as well. So if you have the Bleacher Report app, awesome. Look for me at Josh Taylor FB, same on all social. If you don't, go download the Bleacher Report app because I go live there every Wednesday. Like I said, next week is a little bit different. They have me going live Monday, the day after the Super Bowl, just so I can talk about why, not if, but why Washington will win the Super Bowl next year. I'll talk free agents. I'll talk money. I'll talk Jay Daniels, and I'll talk about the draft. So it's going to be a good time, y'all. I'm excited. We're going to shake the league up this offseason, y'all. Like the season was exciting, but the offseason, this is what I thrive for. I'm a draft junkie. I'll be interviewing players. I'll be breaking down film. I'll be doing position videos, player videos, mock drafts. After the season, we weren't doing mock drafts in like November and December. I did one midseason mock draft because it was fun. I can't help it. But it's just nice to be able to do what we are doing right now. So I appreciate y'all. I got to go cook some dinner and text my girl back, but I appreciate y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow night, same time to talk Cooper Kupp. Peace.